about ones and zeros, then if all these deep learning, ML, everything, if you think about them as zeros, that adds zero to your salary, then that CPE stands for what?
Is it compulsory for anyone targeting FAANGM companies to go for competitive programming?
Ended up becoming a grandmaster and he started coding on his Motorola chip. His name is Utkarsh Gupta. I don't know him. He's popular on YouTube as well. So I only started getting to know about competitive programming after a workshop. So he told us, and it was really inspiring to get to know. He started literally coding on his mobile phone because he didn't have a laptop. So as soon as my rating hit 1100, it kind of went down to 1000 in the very next contest. And then I was totally demotivated. And I felt I cannot do this, and the CP is not my cup of tea because a lot of people tell you that it's really hard and everything. So I kind of believe that yes, I am that person for whom this is not a cup of tea. I left it.
Okay, you mentioned that you are not satisfied. Dude, you are in IIT and you are saying that you need something more than this.
Every day, I'll solve at least one problem. I don't care about rating anymore. All I care is about being able to solve a problem. Competitive programming is for anyone who feels that they are not over with their JEEs.
And घर वाले सही बोलते हैं कि IIT से सीखो तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. Hi everyone, today with us we have Jaideep Sharma. He's my fellow intern at Microsoft and currently he's in 4th year at IIT BHU. Currently he's pursuing dual degree in computer science engineering. Talking about his past achievements, he has been NTSC scholar, he has been KVPY scholar, RMO qualified, NSEP, NSEC Olympiads conducted by Indian Association of Physics Teachers. And talking about his college journey, he is a consistent competitive programmer since his 3rd year. He is an expert on Codeforces and 4-star on CodeChef. Additionally, he has also been a finalist at JPMC Quant Challenge. So his introduction says it all, and I'm so happy to have you, Jaideep, here on the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Priyanka.
So Jaideep, today we are gonna talk all about competitive programming. इतना ज़्यादा focus करते हैं लोग कि competitive programming करना चाहिए, क्या होता है, वो होता है. तो बिल्कुल शुरू से शुरू करेंगे. My very first question to you कि जब कोई इंसान बोलता है कि कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग करनी है तो व्हाट डू वी एग्जैक्टली मीन बाय कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग?
ओके, सो थैंक यू फॉर द क्वेश्चन. सो बेसिकली कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग इज जैसे सब लोगों ने जेईई की तैयारी की होगी. सो बेसिकली वी वर्क ऑन दीस 3 सब्जेक्ट्स PCM एंड देन वी रेगुलरली गिव एग्जाम्स एंड एवरीथिंग एंड फिर अपनी रैंक निकलती है एंड वी सी आवरसेल्व्स इन कंपैरिजन टू अदर पेयर्स. सो एग्जैक्टली लाइक दैट बस कोडिंग करनी होती है एंड वी गिव कॉन्टेस्ट ऑन रेगुलर वेबसाइट्स एंड वी गेट रैंक. एक रेटिंग निकल के आती है लाइक ऑन Codeforces देयर आर मल्टीपल स्ट्रेटास जिसमें रैंक्स डिवाइडेड रहती है. सो बेसिकली इट्स ऑल कॉम्पिटिशन विद प्रोग्रामिंग. सो मेजर तो यही चीज रहती है.
ओके, बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया. टेक्निकल टर्म्स ना यूज करके यू यूज द सिंपल लैंग्वेज व्हिच वाज द बेस्ट पार्ट. My next question is, why should one do competitive programming? What are the benefits कि जब कोई इंसान competitive programming करेगा तो they would be top higher, मतलब they would be ranked higher than others. What are the benefits?
I think competitive programming is good to keep your brain on active रहता है सिर्फ ना. For example, let's suppose it will be helpful in other fields as well. जैसे आप development करने जा रहे हैं, it's not just about अगर तुम कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग करोगे तो यू आर जस्ट एबल टू सॉल्व दोस फेक प्रॉब्लम्स लाइक you exchanged an array with somebody and you gave an array for birthday and those kind of problems. No, that's not how it is. Real world problems may be used आ सकता है. For example, you're working on a website and you want to create a search bar and that search bar asks for the backend for searching something up. So if you are good with competitive programming or in general, I would say problem solving. I try to avoid the word competitive programming because kind of is ये सब controversy में फंस चुका है. तो I try to use problem solving. So if you have good problem solving skills, then you will be able to know कि I need to create a search bar and try use करना will be better, or maybe a modified form of try that will optimize the space or maybe give you a better time complexity. ये सब जो all these buzzwords, if you know about them, you'll be able to code it better. अलग-अलग जगह पे आप apply भी कर सकते हो. So it basically opens up your mind. So I think competitive programming is not just about this. And best part is कि you start liking hard stuff. Hard चीजें तुम्हें करने में मजा आता है. Otherwise, if you're for me it works. If I want to keep myself active in academics and everything, what I do is like I stay up with computer programming throughout the month, and I'll see myself doing well with my academics. I see myself doing well with sports and other fields. Like I recently joined a remote intern, and I was able to keep up with the pace of the work, and काफी अच्छा code I was able to produce. But on the other hand, when I was not competitive, like doing all these things, I kind of find myself giving a hard time writing code in time and everything. So it helps you develop yourself holistically. I hope that was not a really long answer, but that's what I feel about competitive programming.
Perfect answer that I was looking for. Okay, Jaideep, my next question is is it compulsory for anyone targeting FAANGM companies to go for competitive programming?
Okay, so it depends on the college and kind of questions that the company asks. So for example, I'm not sure about FAANG. Like in FAANG you can say Facebook, okay, which is Meta now. So Meta, I'm not sure. Like mostly they are oriented towards somebody who is already good in those fields, like problem solving and everything. Like in general, you can say that companies are looking for somebody who is able to use his brain fast and is able to think. That's what they're trying to find out. They're not looking for somebody who has an experience of 10 years. Because if they would have been looking for that, they would have hired somebody with that. Like freshers को क्यों अपन लेते हैं? Freshers से expectations नहीं होती. We expect that they're able to think fast in that. I think we're on the same page about that, right? So what do they look for? That's what they look for. They look for problem solving skills, and computer programming is, I think, an answer to that. Also, I've seen my friends who haven't done computer programming, instead they do DSA, they're able to perform well as well. However, CP guys have an edge above them because they're able to solve problems in a time-bound situation as well, apart from being good in DSA. So I think CP may not be a must, but it's actually a plus one. And like one of my senior told me, I think I may not fully agree with him, but a good analogy was that if you think about ones and zeros, then if all these dev, deep learning, ML, everything, if you think about them as zeros, that adds 0 to your salary, then that CP stands for 1. Okay. So if you don't have that 1, it's all 0. You don't have to completely agree with it, but it kind of gives you the gravity of how valuable CP might be. Once again, calling it problem solving, not CP.
Yes, completely. I agree on that point as well. Like competitive programming is that one, and everything dev and all that learning part is your zeros. Okay, so my next question from you is about your journey. When did you start competitive programming, and how did this thought come to your mind that now I should begin with competitive programming?
Okay, so my computer programming journey has been very zigzag. Like I started doing it in 2020 December when I started my college. First year, we joined the college in November 23, 2020. I remember the date. So the very next day, I created an account on Codeforces, and I started solving problems. And I didn't know what to do over there because I was mostly I was not in touch with my seniors, so I didn't know what to do. And yeah, I gave a few contests over there and saw my rating increasing, and up till around 1100 on Codeforces. I've been mostly active on Codeforces only and not on CodeChef or any other platform. So as soon as my rating hit 1100, it kind of went down to 1000 in the very next contest, and then I was totally demotivated, and I felt like I cannot do this, and CP is not my cup of tea because a lot of people tell you that it's really hard and everything. So I kind of believe that yes, I am that person for whom this is not a cup of tea. I left it. Alright, that's what happened. And alright, fast forward to 4 or 5 months, I saw my friends becoming pupil and specialist, and I kind of started getting FOMO that, oh no, I'm getting left behind. And I was mostly during that time, I was exploring development, and I was taking up many courses on Udemy and Coursera. So that time I spent in depth. And then in the coming summers, I once again started doing CP, but same story. Got my rank up and down, but it never reached pupil. It was only until the next summers when I came to my college in 2020, 22, when I saw my friends who were in my same batch, they became expert, and at the same time I was a newbie. Okay, so I have had a really bad journey. But then I was like, all right, let's cut the chase. I'll start doing the problems every day. I'll solve at least one problem. I don't care about my rating anymore. All I care is about being able to solve a problem. Doesn't matter the rating. I'll just start doing it. Right? And then I started contacting my seniors about how I can improve myself. And I followed some of the tips. I'll share them later on in this podcast. So I started giving the contest continuously. That was the one thing they told me. So I started giving contest from December 22. Okay. Till then I solved only the problems. And then I gave continuous contest, and I saw my rating become better. And for the first time, I became a pupil in, I think, August 2022. Yeah. And then then started a long journey to specialist, because I left my, my main ID. I stopped using it. I had created another ID, as many of us do, because we are in fear of losing our rating, that I may lose my rating, so I'll create one more ID, and this is a really hell cycle. So I stopped at second account and I started giving contests over there. Until from the January of 2023 until April 2023, I kept giving consistent contest, and I became specialist in around March, and in April I became an expert. So I think the main stretch of my competitive programming journey was in 2023 early, and by the summers I became an expert, and my highest rating is around 1700 something. So this was mostly what my journey was like, and this is like the worst case scenario you can imagine. Like somebody who was stuck at newbie for 2 years, and suddenly within 3 months he becomes an expert. So there has to be something he followed. There was definitely some need of guidance that he got, and which is why I believe that anyone can become a good competitive programmer if he follows a good guidance. That's what my journey was like.
Your story was truly inspirational. Like, many people can get to learn a lot from you. And I myself think that I can learn a lot of things from you as well. Okay. So moving towards our next question. So what should be an ideal roadmap for someone who wants to start doing competitive programming, and how should he or she manage competitive programming along with college exams and other activities like college societies and games, sports, etc.?
Okay, so I think competitive programming is one of the things you do during your college life, and just like the other things, there is a time for something, right? Like for college societies, you prioritize your time during your first 2 years, or maybe in the best case scenario, you'll work in them for third year as well. I've seen most of my friends leaving college societies by third year and becoming Gen Sekis and everything. So that's similar to that. Competitive programming has a time for you. Some people start doing it in the early phase of their college life, and those are the ones who end up becoming masters or international masters, or even better, grandmaster. Like two of my favorite seniors, they became grandmaster and they went to ICPC finals twice. Like I have been in talks with them forever, and they always guide me well. So you can do that, or maybe you can start in the the last semester to your that penultimate semester, after which in the summers you prepare for the DSA and then you give internship rounds. I hope every colleges are following the same way. In my case, I'm a 5th year college student. Like I'm a 5-year program I have. So in that, I go for the intern in my penultimate year. Like I'll be going in my 4th year now. So in the last to that, it was like 3rd year, I guess. Yeah. So in 3rd year you prepare. That you can do. Right? In that case, of course, you'll be able to learn a lot, but you'll kind of feel that I could have become a candidate master. I could have become a master. Like I've been feeling that I could become candidate master if I had prepared a little earlier. But whatever be it, there is no perfect time for competitive programming. All you need to do is just give a 4-month stretch, or let's say 6-month stretch in the optimistic case, that you consistently practice for competitive programming, and it will give you great results. All you have to do is just put in 6 months of non-stop consistent effort. It will take you anywhere you want. That is the amount of time you should give. Now coming to how you should be working on competitive programming. first of all, you have to start solving problems. Like for example, for doing anything, what you do is like first you scratch the surface, you try to see what this is all about. So you just go there and delve into solving problems, random problems. Up until around like 200 problems, you have to solve randomly. Okay, they're mostly the easier ones, so you can get your hands easily. You are able to implement the problems like the easier ones. Like let's say you can solve 800 to 1100 problems for the first 3 months. Then as you start feeling like, yeah, I can try a little harder, I can try harder problems, then you start giving contests. Okay, so up until 200 problems, don't give contest. Okay, you don't have to. Don't focus about rating ever. Okay, at least until you are an expert, never think about the rating. Give contest, and then as soon as you're done with the first 200 problems, start giving contest consistently. Don't stop. Okay, and yeah, then you also have to select one competitive programming website or maybe 2. So the best I would recommend is Codeforces, number 1. Number 2, at Coder. Now, a lot of people think that maybe I can go with the CodeChef. Yeah, sure, no issues. But I think at Coder is a Japanese website that gives really nice contests. Like they always have those easier ones and those holistically good ones. They have a good set of problems. So I would say go for at Coder in the second one. Okay, cool. So you have to keep 2 at max to a competitive programming website. Then as you progress, your rating is going to increase. Let's say you become a pupil. Let's say you're rated 1200. Now what you need to do is you have to change your problem sets, the quotients you do. Let's suppose you're at a rating of 1200. So I would recommend you do a problem that is 1400. What do I mean? Well, solve a problem that is 200 ratings above the ones you are rated at. Okay, that would like be good enough to get you out of your comfort zone and good enough for you to not panic. Okay, also you can try going out of your comfort zone totally and solve those harder problems. Let's suppose you are on the 1200, you can go for 1500, 1600, whatever feels good for you. That you have to do. Cool, that's it. Now what else? Well, nothing else actually. That's it. Okay, now apart from this, if you still want more tips, then what you can do is like whenever you give a contest, the very next day upsolve the problems. Okay, upsolve I mean, let's suppose you were able to do A, B, that's it. You are not able to solve C or D. So what you have to do is go on, solve C, and if you're able to understand the problem D, then solve it as well. Okay, now cool. Okay, how do I solve? What's the best way to practice? So how do I practice? Well, see, what do I do is like I know the kind of problem I need to solve, right? Okay, now how do I practice is like this. First of all, go into the settings and disable your tags. Okay, don't see the tags. They kind of work as hints for you. Okay, so we don't want hints in the first go. The first go needs to be around 20 to 25 minutes long. Okay, just give your time, try to solve the problems, and you need to give an honest 20 minutes into the problem. Now what do I mean by honest? You actually are trying to think of approach, not just like looking at the screen blank. You are trying to solve the problem. You are going through 3 to 4 approach, but still you are not getting anywhere. Alright, no issues. See the tags for this problem. That will tell you like this is supposed to come from graph theory, or maybe this is something about bind research. You'll get some idea. Okay, maybe I can try bind research. Let's see, what do I get? Alright, so if I get some idea, I may be able to solve then. Still, if you're not able to solve after 15 to 20 minutes, cool. Just open the editorial and then try to read it line by line. Okay, don't see the complete editorial, see it line by line. If you get the idea of the problem, then don't read it below. Okay? Solve the problem, submit it. If it's accepted, cool. One more step remaining. Go to the submitted solutions and see the top coders code. Okay, so what they do is like they have really beautiful code. Like they I don't know what's there. It's mostly about the experience. So I had this habit of looking at codes from the rad coders like Eric To. Then we have Red Whoosh and the very best tourist. I would just try to understand how they write these codes. They actually are able to write really beautiful and well organized code. That you can do as well. So yeah, that's basically how you practice. I think.
Yes, it completely answers. So my next question to you is, who should go for competitive programming? Like, to whom you would suggest that this person should go for competitive programming? This is a must for this person.
Okay, so I think competitive programming is for anyone who feels that they are not over with their JEE phase. Okay, so I have a few friends of mine who are kind of feeling like, dude, I'm not done with this. Like, I prepared so well for this, and I'm not satisfied with the place I got. I still want to, continue that fight. I was among those people who kind of felt like post-war trauma, you can say. So those guys obsess over CP. They feel like, dude, wow, that's amazing. I can wreck myself. Basically, you can say tech nerds can go for computer programming, and anyone who wants to do it. Like, if they're bored, you can do that. If you are looking for placements, internship, go ahead, just do it. Because I came across a guy in tech field who is 10 years into this field, and he still solves the lead code's problem. So, and he is kind of like very good. Like, he's ranked well. I don't know exactly how those guys rank, but he's among the top 1%. And he solves one problem daily, and he still does it. So I asked him, why you do it? So he was like, because I want to keep myself up with the pace. Like, because the thing is, every year a new batch of joinees come, and they have a better brain. They are more faster. They are more tech savvy with all these tools and technologies like Dev and AI and everything. These are coming up. Like, the old guys, they may not be able to update themselves with these new technologies. They have to do that. So to keep themselves updated, they try to solve these problems and try to learn new technologies and everything. I think for those as well, competitive programming is cool. Some of my seniors are still grandmasters even after 5-6 years into their jobs, because they love it. So I think, for whom is it? Everybody should try it. I think you should try it. If you don't like it, just change the field. Try dev, try deep learning. Somebody will love it or like it, whatever. But yeah, it's useful anyway for your job, I guess.
Okay, you mentioned that you are not satisfied. Dude, you are in IIT and you are saying that you need something more than this.
I think some of the people who have a history of doing well in the academics and everything, they start to feel withdrawal symptoms of not being able to do this anymore. Like, yeah, there are more opportunities in college, but still they're not of that level as they were during your post pre-JEE period. Like, there were these exams. Like, I don't want to boast here because this will sound like boasting, but they kind of have this feeling of coming first in every exam. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who wants to come first, but I kind of feel like I want to do well in my academics and everything. I always feel that, and whenever I'm not doing, I kind of start feeling like, what, I need to do something. That's not a good thing, but that keeps happening. But either way, I think I'm normal now. I don't feel that that need to come first in every exam, so I'm well. But yeah, some people do feel even now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jaideep, my next question is, to someone who's preparing for internships, what should they prefer most? Like, they should go for web dev or machine learning or AI or competitive programming. Like, what should be their preference?
So the thing is, I believe that it depends on your profile. If you are aiming for an SDE profile, then usually the approach is like this, that in my college, we have a good CP culture. So most of the companies know that because the alums come and, they know the kind of environment that the college has. So they try to ask us problems related to competitive programming. For example, Uber, Sprinkler, Dish, or these companies always try to ask problems straight out of Codeforces rounds. Like, I've seen some problems coming straight out of contest, div 2 contest. Exact question. So how do you beat that? So that totally depends on your college culture. Okay, let's suppose in your college, you guys don't have the culture of CP. Maybe the profile that you're aiming for is not SD focused, or maybe it's something related to data science. So I would say that you should practice more on linear algebra, probability statistics, or making projects that target that field. still have this feeling that I should have prepared for data science as well, because I kind of like the kind of work these guys do. But whatever be it, I think that competitive programming may not be the only thing you do, but it is one of the things you should work on, because almost everyone is preparing for that. So having an edge on that wouldn't be a bad thing. Even though I do not completely agree with that competitive programming versus dev fight, I'm not in anybody's side, because I don't even call it competitive programming. I call it problem solving. That's an essential skill that everybody should have.
Okay, Jaideep, my next question to you is what are the prerequisites that one should complete before starting their journey for competitive programming? Like ये चीजें तो आपको पता होनी चाहिए. कुछ भारी भरकम शब्द सुनने को मिलते हैं कि templates और ये सब क्या होता है, and then so what are the prerequisites?
There are no prerequisites. I think having a laptop would be better. Actually, I have known a senior who ended up becoming a grandmaster, and he started coding on his Motorola chip. His name is Utkarsh Gupta. I hope you know him. He's popular on YouTube as well. So I only started getting to know about competitive programming after a workshop he took. So he told us, and it was really inspiring to get to know. He started literally coding on his mobile phone because he didn't have a laptop by the end of his first year. He only bought it in the second year. So that happened. So I think you don't have to know anything at all. All you have to do is just have that zeal to learn, to become that. I want to become that best coder in India or whatever. And he ended up becoming that rank 1 in India. So that's actually inspiring. There it is. No requirements. Nothing. Maybe if you want, you can just learn about a good programming language that's helpful in competitive programming. I would recommend going for C++ because it's fast. It has a great support for templates, like you said. But still, you don't have to know much. All you have to do is know how to run a hello world command, and everything will sort out later on.
Okay, so it was truly inspiring कि उन्होंने फोन से अपना कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग का जर्नी स्टार्ट किया था. एंड घर वाले सही बोलते हैं कि IITN से सीखो तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. Okay. So Jaideep, my next question is कि अगर मैंने competitive programming start कर दी तो as your journey has been this way as well, मैं एक दिन question solve कर पा रही हूँ लेकिन अगले दिन मुझसे question नहीं बन पा रहा है, तो I would be in self doubt कि मुझसे तो question हो ही नहीं रहे हैं, I am not made for this thing. तो डिमोटिवेशन बहुत आ जाता है, सेल्फ डाउट भी आता है कि हमने गलत चीज में तो अपना टाइम नहीं लगा दिया है, कि वी आर नॉट मेड फॉर दिस थिंग. तो हाउ टू कॉप अप विद दैट डिमोटिवेशन और अगले दिन के लिए खुद को कैसे मोटिवेट करना है कि ये प्रॉब्लम कल सॉल्व करनी है, अगर आज बिल्कुल ही नहीं हो रही है तो हाउ टू कीप योरसेल्फ मोटिवेटेड?
So yeah, this has been a constant phase for me. So 2 साल थे that the ones I wasted. It's not really wasted because I did other good stuff as well. But I could have done better. I think mostly we term this as imposter syndrome. Okay, so it's a well classified psychological term. Basically, what we do is somebody starts to feel like they're not made for this because they were not able to do the basic stuff in the beginning. Okay, this problem is for beginners. Once you are well experienced with the whatever field you are working on, you will actually know the meaning of experience. Okay, so all you have to do is see how many programs have you submitted. Okay, so in the early phase, what you should do is only focus on the number of problems you have solved and the level of problems you have solved. Okay, let's suppose you have only solved 10 problems. Okay, and those being 800 rated, those are the lowest possible ratings. Okay, and then you are stumbling upon a problem that is 1200 rated and you're not able to solve it, because that's obvious. Most of us can't get through it in the first attempt, at least when you are at the start phase. So at that time, all you have to think about is how many number of lines of codes have you submitted. Okay, that's not enough, right? You haven't submitted enough problems at all. How are you even thinking that you'll be able to make it in the first one? It's totally okay to feel like that. Okay, for that, what you have to do is go to the editorial, try to understand what it is all about, and you'll already you'll feel that this is totally new. And yes, you will learn so many new concepts during your initial phase. Like even after solving 800 problems, okay, of varied rating, I came across so many different approaches for even the early problems that I have been solving already. Like there's endless learning in competitive programming. So I think you should never doubt yourself. Okay, all you need to focus is on experience and number of problems you have solved and good problems and what kind of code you write. Like if you have submitted and it's accepted, then there is always a scope of improvement in every dimension. Like your code could be improved. Maybe there was a piece of line that could be omitted to improve the running of this code, or maybe there is another approach. Let's suppose you have solved a DP problem. You did the recursion. Okay, it's going to get accepted if it has time bound of, let's suppose, 3 seconds. Okay, let's suppose a recursion solution passes, and you're like, okay, I'm fine. I'm the coolest person. I'll now become the next Sundar Pichai. Well, sorry boss, stop. Okay, just go to your code. See, maybe you may be able to apply DP through memorization. Maybe you can do that. Okay, fine, cool. Now the code is running at 0.1 seconds. Earlier it was running in 3 seconds. Alright. Now there is also a little bit of scope. Maybe there is a scope to improve even further. Let's say you try an iterative solution. Okay, that will take you even further. And now you feel like, okay, this is the ideal solution. Cool, yeah, cool, thumbs up. At least you improved now. So all you have to think about is, where can I improve? Instead of saying that I cannot do this, you have to think about this. Where can I improve, and how can I get better at what I am? Okay, instead of comparing to that number one coder in this world, and no, dude, he already has 10 years of experience than me. How will I even stand a chance? No, okay, you have your own pace, you have your own journey. That's all. Don't worry about it. Don't feel like that. Everybody feels that in the beginning, if that helps.
Yes, it completely answers my question, and I cannot expect any better answer from anyone else. So, Jaideep, would you like to suggest any resources for competitive programming that you might have followed in your journey, or your seniors might have told you?
So, there are few things. Okay, so first of all, you should always target only a handful of resources. Don't jump into that YouTube hell. Okay, first of all, stop going into the YouTube hell. Try to read more and try to stop watching videos. Okay, try to avoid watching videos. Let's suppose you are trying to solve a problem and you end up stumbling upon YouTube search and searching for this problem and solution, and now you're watching that video, and now you're like, yeah, fine, I understand this. I'll code it up and I'll submit the exact solution that I wrote. No, stop doing that. What you have to do, I already told you about that editorial approach, right? So read more and don't watch more videos. Okay, if you want to follow a YouTube playlist, cool, just select one of them and follow them. Okay, no issues. There are a lot of good places. I have no personal suggestion. Maybe you can go for Striver, or maybe you can go for Anuj Bhaiya, and there are many places. Frankly speaking, I never really watched any of those videos. So the ones I followed, let's come to that. Okay, so in the beginning, there are mainly few topics. The number one being DP, number two graph, number three trees, number four rest of the DSA. Okay, I hope I'm getting it right. Oh yeah, and there is also binary search. Okay, these are like the main topics that if you are able to master, you'll be able to master most of the part. Like these cover almost 80% of the syllabus, and then the rest 20% is mostly unnecessary. Those are the ones for those professional competitive programmers, like the ones who have reached the level of candidate master. For DP, there are a few playlists on YouTube if you want to follow. There is Aditya Verma. He's a really amazing guy. Like he actually has understood how DP works and like everything. He has correct almost every kind of concept in DP. There is that. There is a playlist from Erikto. Erikto is a really famous Ukrainian, I don't remember. Maybe he's a Russian competitive programmer. Watch his videos as well. There is also Karthik Arora. He's a famous programmer as well. I followed his videos for CSES. Coming on to that, CSES is a really famous, underrated a problem set of around 200 problems that covers standard questions from Finnish coding problems. Like there have been a multiple contest in Finland. So from there, they have comprised a set of standard problems. So you should go and solve that as well. So like these are the resources for learning DP. Okay. And for graphs, you can go for USACO. I'll share that with you, so you can just put that in description as well. So this is like a very popular US website that contains a lot of written resources for competitive programming. Like every possible resource gets covered. Okay, and for tree, like it's the similar for tree and graph. It's the same. For DSA, I would say go for interview bit. Like that's the one I followed. It helps you for interview preparation and famous problems for other topics like the stack, recursion, and others. Apart from that, if you don't want to follow interview bit, you can just follow a sheet from famous sheets. So there, like TUF. What's that called? I think Streaver's sheet is there. It's really very famous. Although I didn't follow that because I didn't have enough time. Yeah, I think it's TUF, right? Yeah. So you can follow that as well. No problem. All of these sheets all have the same resources. They're all like they have a fixed set of problems, so you can follow any of them. But make sure you follow at least one of them. Don't fall for like all these, and they will be the same problem. So don't follow too many resources. Okay, then there's binary search. This is my personal favorite. Binary search is my most favorite topic of all times. Like I've studied it enough to know like what exactly works in binary search. Like I have a bit of like proud feeling for this. So for binary search, I tried almost every possible place to go and learn about it. So kind of know exactly like what you should be working on, how you should be reading. So for starting, there's this really famous place called Codeforces edu. Okay, go over there, sign up for the course they have. Okay, they have this one course, and from there you can, you should follow that binary search section. It has 3 parts. Number 1 is lecture, then there is a reading material, and then there are 5 to 6 problems for different type of binary search problems. So go ahead, solve that. I think that will be more than sufficient for binary search. They will comprise of every kind of binary search problem. And apart from that, then you can just go for any SD sheet to cover all these topics. But these are the precise resources that I would follow. I hope this was not a really long answer. Pardon for that. So yeah, mostly that's how I did it.
No, Jaideep. It made me feel like there is some senior sitting beside me and teaching me each and everything. That go study this from here, and it was just amazing feeling. So thank you so much for telling all the resources topic wise.
Yeah, for more resources, go into the description. They'll be shared. They are all good.
Thank you so much, Jaideep, for taking out time today, and it was really very helpful that I got to know a lot of new things from you about competitive programming, and I myself knew very little about it. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for hosting me. It's been a pleasure.
For everyone, those who want to connect with Jaideep, I'll be attaching his LinkedIn down there, and you can connect directly with him, and you can ask your personal doubts if you still feel any doubts regarding anything that you feel Jaideep would answer.
Sure. Go ahead and just connect with me. I'm almost everywhere, so you can connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, or GitHub everywhere.
Okay, so I'll attach all his social media accounts down below, and you can connect with him. So thank you, Jaideep, and thank you everyone for joining us today.